1 2 1 2. I go by the name of DJ What, and you're now listening to the original Jeek Podcast. Let's go.
Ready to make an entrance, so backward cut. Come on, clap for me.
Oh yeah. Whoa, slow down. Whoa, speed up.
Fresh.
Yeah, making me itch.
What up, Jeeks? It is your boy, the one and only RockinMrMagic, and this is another episode of the original Jeek Podcast. Yeah. Welcome to episode 5 of season 8. Yes, it's December, and it's been rough trying to make this show happen because life at times has been rough. Some of you Jeeks that are closer to me know what's been going on, and I appreciate all the love and support you've been giving me. I appreciate every single one of you who continue to subscribe to the show, have not only watched and subscribed and continue to listen to the original Jeek Podcast, but have also watched and listened and subscribed to our newest show, Finalysis 101, with me and Greg Burnham, and all those who have been patiently waiting the return of Breaking Ring Rust. Just so much thanks, gratitude to every single one of you who have continued to support Jeek Nation Podcast, who continue to engage and share within our Facebook community, League of Jeeks, and everyone. Shout out to every single person who has joined and followed over the year. We had a big spike with follows this year, especially late this year. So I want to personally give a thank you to everybody who has followed on and engaged with us on Facebook, on TikTok, on Instagram, especially Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, but also those on Blue Sky, Threads, and even at Twitter. Yes, I'm still calling it Twitter. I just appreciate everyone who has engaged with Jeek Nation, with myself. And you guys help me continue to have so much fun doing this show. So, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Let's get into it, y'all. First, a most humble in memoriam. I have to recognize these people, these gentlemen who unfortunately passed away. As you can see here, for those watching, rest in peace to Lenny Wilkens, Coach Lenny Wilkens, NBA coach, former NBA player, Michael Ray Richardson, actor Cary Hiroyuki Tagawa. Yes, yeah, that's how you pronounce it. Cary Hiroyuki Tagawa. You would have, if you don't know him by name, you probably recognize him as the actor who played Shang Tsung in the Mortal Kombat films, amongst many other films, I believe. He also had a small role in Memoirs of a Geisha. A really talented actor. And lastly, in memoriam of Marshawn Kneeland, the Dallas Cowboy player who reportedly took his own life. And with that, your boy wants to say, particularly to men, not ignoring the ladies, but particularly to men, which is this show's highest demographic, but specifically man to man. If you need, not if you, because we all need it, when you need support, help, seek it. Take the risk of exposure, of vulnerability, that someone will know something about you that could potentially be used to hurt you. It's a sucky place to be, but you can't get help if you don't take the risk. Take the risk with one person, two people. Take the risk with a counselor, with a therapist, with a pastor, with an old friend. Even if you have to take the risk with an anonymous Reddit post to get it off your chest, but get it off your chest. You don't have to endure what you're enduring without help. That is just a personal plea from me to all you out there. And that goes for everybody. This particularly message to men, because we're the ones most likely not to get help. But anybody who needs help, seek it. Even if you have to seek it from me. I ain't gonna tell nobody's business to nobody. I'm gonna have no recollection of the event in question. Anything I am told stays between these ears, and if I speak it, I am speaking it only in prayer and support. Ain't nan a soul gonna hear. Not from me. So, in memoriam to talented men who were able to bless us with great NBA experiences in Coach Wilkens, NBA championship winning coach with the Seattle Supersonics, formerly was at one time all-time winningest coach. Michael Ray Richardson, who was tremendous talent. If you don't know about Michael Ray, Sugar Ray could play. Mr. Tagawa, and of course, Marshawn Nealon, all gone way too soon. But we thank you all for what you shared with us while you were here. All right, so we're going to transition to the second segment, because that was the first segment. Second segment of this episode. Get bricked up. Yes. Well, no. Hold up. This is not a Blue Chew ad commercial. No. First of all, they ain't paying me. So I'm not talking about get bricked up, because I'm sure you've heard all the crazy Blue Chew commercials on all the podcasts. That's not what's happening today. This segment, Get Bricked Up, is going to be a recurring segment where I like to talk about one of my favorite things in LEGO. If you don't know, I love LEGO. I've been building LEGO my entire life. I still have some of my LEGO from the 80s, like Space Police, Blacktron, OG Blacktron. Yeah, OG Space Police, old stuff. Love it. So we're going to talk about some LEGO that is coming out or newly released that I am particularly excited for. And if anybody, and I'm not what normally does this, but LEGO be expensive. It be pricey. So if anyone wants to bless a brother, on my Chime account, you know what I'm saying? Anybody got, anybody needs a brother to edit the podcast, produce a podcast, pay a brother so I can get some funds to buy LEGO. I'm here for it. So one of the things now, I want all of these things. And I'm not even the biggest fan of some of these things. But we're going to start off talking about the LEGO Power Ranger Megazord. Yes, Power Rangers in LEGO. So for you Power Ranger super fans, which I'm not, I'm a fan, but not a super fan, but this set looks really cool. It was a winner of the latest LEGO Ideas Review. And if you're not familiar with that, one thing that LEGO started doing years ago that's just super cool is people who build and take random pieces and they create their own creations. And LEGO started allowing creators to submit their ideas for kids, and if they get enough votes and they pass through a review, then they actually get developed and become real purchasable kits. That's how a lot of a lot of the popular pop culture kits have come to pass over the recent years. So this is one of those, the winners of the most recent LEGO Ideas review. And it turns, so like I say, it turns these amateur submissions into officially released sets. So this set includes a fully transformable Megazord and minifigs of the 5 original Power Rangers, red, yellow, pink, blue, and black. If you're a Power Ranger fan and a LEGO fan, it looks, come on, look at, no, it's below. Look at that. That looks cool. It looks cool. There's some other images out there on the internet. I implore you to look at them because not only is it a Megazord, but because it's a Megazord, you can have all of the 5 individual Zords separate, plus obviously combine them to create the Megazord. So essentially, you're getting like a 6-in-1 probability there with this set. So that's freaking cool. It's very similar to the Voltron set that came out a couple years ago. That's unfortunately discontinued, which is one of those things on my wish list that I'd have to fork out $500 or something for. LEGO, come on, why did we have to discontinue Voltron? But like Voltron, it'll have those separate Zords that you put together to make the one Megazord. So super cool. A set that just dropped recently that I am really excited. I am excited for more than Power Rangers because I'm a big Trekkie, and that is the LEGO Enterprise D kit from LEGO. Now, as a child, I told my mama I wanted to work for LEGO. And one of the reasons why I wanted to work for LEGO as a Trekkie is I wanted to create LEGO kits for Star Trek. Now, this is really cool. And this is going to be something I purchase. I don't know when, but I'm going to get one. The only thing that's disappointing to me is that this is the only Enterprise available right now. But I hope it sells well, because I believe if it does well, then they will be more likely to do a model of the Enterprise that I prefer, like the original series Enterprise or even the Enterprise A from the films with the original cast. The Enterprise A, that's the one I would really want. Even though some fans don't like that redesign, I love Enterprise A design. So I'm really hoping that LEGO comes out with Enterprise A. But the D looks fantastic, especially because it's got some great features to it. So, like the Enterprise D, one thing that's really cool about this kit is it has, because Star Trek ships like the Enterprise are so odd as far as standing on their own. Like, Star Wars ships tend to have like more legs and such because they're designed differently. So they can stand and pose easier than the Trek ships can. So this has a display piece so that you can display it better. But it has the saucer section from the Enterprise D and the Next Generation detaches from the rear section where the more engines and such are, and you see that in the show. Well, this saucer section on the LEGO kit also detaches. So you have the hull section and the saucer section; they separate. There's also a shuttlecraft bay where that contains a pair of mini shuttlecrafts. The stand I mentioned, and then there's also a tile for the minifigs that it comes with to complete the overall design. The set is going to include 9 minifigs. So it's going to have Captain Picard, Commander Riker, Lieutenant Worf, Lieutenant Commander Data, Dr. Crusher. It's also going to have Geordi LaForge, Counselor Troy, Guinan, and Wesley Crusher. Those are the 9 minifigs that you will get as a part of the Enterprise D kit. If my memory serves me correct, it's $2.99 right now. But I'll have a link in the show notes for anyone looking to buy that. But that, it looks amazing. It looks great. And again, the Trekkie in me has been waiting for years for Star Trek to finally be a reality for LEGO. Because before, Playmobil had it, and it was just cheesy, and I just didn't like what I don't like. Lego's Lego. Lego to me may be the overall best toy created in modern times. It's fantastic. The consistency, the quality is always there. So I'm so hyped that Lego is finally entered the Trekverse. All right, next kit. This one's more affordable. It's on a pre-order status right now. And that is the Speed Champions edition of the Back to the Future DeLorean. This one, and then last I checked, it's still on pre-order. It drops in January. It's only $27.99. That's affordable for anybody. And what's cool about the DeLorean, not only is it affordable, and it looks great, and it's part of the Speed Champion series, but you can either make it in the original version, which you have displayed here for those watching. It also has the Mr. Fusion version that you can modify the kit to as well. So that gives you some flexibility for those who still like to play with their toys, like me. So that part's really cool. And of course, it comes with 2 minifigs, being Doc and Marty McFly. So if you're a Back to the Future fan like myself and you love Lego, I think you got to spare $30. It's pretty much going to be $30 with tax. Cop this Speed Champions edition of the DeLorean. Again, it's pre-order. Get it while you can. Because once it sells out, it's probably going to resell at an exorbitant markup, especially if they discontinue it fast. And then the last kit we're going to talk about here in Bricked Up is reflective of a rather popular pop culture item, and that is Stranger Things. You can get a Lego kit that is based off of the Creel House from Stranger Things. Yes, Victor Creel's house, where Vecna/Henry/1 resides. It is also, I think it's also $2.99 in cost. Don't quote me on that, but I'll double check. But it's a house. This one is designed specifically, and this is according to Lego, it is a mini house building kit for adults. I'm not sure why specifically they said for adults, but they said for adults. So I don't know if there's going to be a certain level of gore or graphicness that's included that may make it more for adults than that they don't want children playing with it. But hey, Lego said it's for adults. And Lego says, and I quote, "This hauntingly detailed model of the ominous Gothic manor includes some really cool stuff." So you're going to get Steve's car, the Beamer, the WSQK radio van, also Will's bike. It's going to have an ornate facade, an open back with access to the entryway, the dining room, the sitting room, Alice and Henry's bedrooms, the spooky hallway, and then 2 attic spaces. And included, of course, are going to be minifigs. You're going to get 13 minifigs with this kit. That's going to be Will, Mike, Lucas, and Dustin, of course. You have a minifig of Vecna, Vecna as Mr. Whatsit, Holly Wheeler, Steve, Nancy, Robin, Jonathan, Max, and of course, 11. Those are the 13 minifigs that come as a part of the kit. As of this recording, unfortunately, it's too late to get the gift that an extra gift that sometimes you get when you place an order, because it was like a 4-day window. So sorry about that. Yeah, I missed out. We all missed out on that extra gift. But I had $300 to drop on it anyway. So, but this is also a really cool kit that I would love to have. Like, if I had to put these in order, it would be Enterprise D, DeLorean, Creel House, Power Rangers. But I mean, it's a great value. The house is a decent size. Having the open back to recreate a lot of scenes is fun. Then having the vehicles and then the 13 minifigs gives you a lot of staging options that are I think, just really freaking cool. So, yeah, the Creel House is it's also not available yet. I actually don't. You can't even pre-order. It's not even up for pre-order yet. If my memory serves me correct, and again, I'll have a link in the show notes. I think we still have another like 2 weeks before you can even place it, before either it drops or before you can start ordering or pre-ordering it. So we still have a little bit. It's going to come out in 2026. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it comes out in 2026, around the time of the finale release of Stranger Things. So keep your eyes out for that. If you're a Stranger Things fan and a Lego fan, you definitely are going to want to cop yourself the Creel House. Speaking of things that you should cop, if you want to do what I do, you want a podcast. Well, Zencastr is the best option for you. It's the ultimate web-based podcasting solution. It provides high-quality audio and video podcast production and hosting. With a full suite of professional tools, podcasters can seamlessly record, produce, and publish studio-quality content all from one dashboard. Zencastr records video up to 4K to give you the picture-perfect quality that your video podcast deserves. Zencastr will also distribute your video podcast in 1080p to all available video podcast players. Zencastr's post-production process takes the headache out of audio production. You set the right podcast loudness and levels while reducing background noise with the click of a button. Ready to start? Go to zencastr.com/pricing and use my code JEEKNATION, JEEKNATION, and you'll get 30% off your first 3 months of Zencastr Professional. I want you to have the same easy experiences I do for all my podcasting and content needs. It's time to share your story. All right, we're going to have a couple quick hits here before we go on to our main topic of the episode, and that is the 2025 Game Awards. But before we go there, a couple quick hits. This happened not too long ago, but kind of recently, and that is an accomplishment by one Mr. Russell Westbrook. Yes, Russell Westbrook has become the all-time leader in rebounds amongst guards, which is an impressive feat when you think about a lot of the guards who have been known for getting rebounds, especially big guards. Magic Johnson, Oscar Robertson, and even guys like, other triple-double guys. Magic and Oscar being two of the biggest triple-double guys out there. But others like Jason Kidd, who were known for getting rebounds as part of their stats and what they brought to the game. That's different, especially for point guards. Russell Westbrook has eclipsed them all by becoming the all-time leader in rebounds amongst guards. And he says, and I quote, "Humbly speaking, I'm the best rebounding guard ever." Now, my question to you, listeners of the Original Jeek Podcast, do you think that's true or false? Is Russ out here capping? Yeah, think about it. Now, personally, I'm a fan. I'm a Russ Westbrook fan. Always have been. I will talk about the things I love about his game, and I'll talk about the things I don't love about his game. You've heard it on this show. If you listen to Finalysis 101, you've also heard it on that show. I love a lot of things Russ brings. Some things I don't like. And now, but he's a good rebounder. I personally wouldn't agree with the assertion that he's the greatest rebounding guard ever. And I'll give the one caveat that I have, because this isn't a long topic. My primary caveat to why he is not, as he claims, is because when he was putting up a lot of those triple doubles, especially when he was still in OKC, he was getting a lot of free rebounds from his bigs. Steven Adams and his other bigs were boxing out and letting him get the rebound. That is not something that any other rebounding guard had available to them. They had to go in there with the trees and fight for the rebounds. Jason Kidd had to fight for rebounds to get and then push on the break. Kenyon Martin and Aaron Williams and Todd McCullough and Dikembe Mutombo and Keith Van Horn and Jaron Collins, they weren't giving him rebounds, especially because that's how they made their money. They made their money getting rebounds, especially defensive rebounds. Because you want to get the defensive rebound, you get the ball to the point guard and push the break. Well, obviously, Jay Kidd gets the rebound. He can push the break a little faster. That's great. But that, when your job as a big man, a la Aaron Williams, a la Todd McCullough, they weren't there to score. When your job is to get rebounds, play defense, now the point guard is taking money out of your pocket by grabbing a bunch of rebounds. That's an issue. And you don't have to take my word for it. You can listen to former NBA players talking about big men telling guards to get out of their way, stop trying to get their rebounds, because that's how they get paid. That's how they make their money. Russ had a gift in that he had big men who would box out and let him just go get the rebound. They weren't even fighting him for it. So that caveat, that advantage, is something that I say takes away from any mystique that Russ has for being the best rebounding guard. I would definitely count him amongst the best rebounding guards. But the best, you can't be the best when you're getting free rebounds. Just can't do it. Can't do it. But I digress. Next quick hit, something that was really cool. This happened like a month and a half ago now. But it was so cool I could not skip talking and bringing it up on the show. So Penny Hardaway, if you should be familiar with Penny Hardaway. Penny Hardaway, he is the coach of Memphis. And Penny Hardaway, if you don't know him as an NBA player or as a coach, you should know him for having the second best shoe collection in Nike history. Only Jordan has a better roster, in my opinion, when it comes to shoe designs and classic shoes. The Air Penny 1s, the Penny 2s, the foam posits. Penny's got a dope lineup of kicks. So Penny Hardaway is very synonymous with the sneakerhead game. For the season opener for Memphis, Penny Hardaway wore a pair of Jordan 1s. But this was a special pair of Jordan 1s. This pair of Jordan 1s is themed for the show Bluey. And he wore these specifically to raise awareness for autism. And Penny Hardaway's son, Jaden, has autism. So when asked about it after the game, Penny said, "These are for quote, these are for autism, you know." And with Jaden, my son, Jaden being born autistic, and me having friends that are, that are gone and battling this, I wanted to represent them, all of them, tonight. These look dope. They look really cool. These are some really dope looking J's. I'm not even like a Bluey fan. And granted, my kids were too old for Bluey, but I've got grandkids who love Bluey. Those are fire. I would rock those. And like I said, I'm not that big on Bluey. But Bluey, baby, those are fire J's. And the autism awareness part is really cool. Shout out to Penny Hardaway for keeping up on the relevance of causes like autism awareness and mixing it with sneakerhead culture. It's such a dope move. Shout out to him. Shout out to Jordan and Nike for making that happen. All right. Last quick hit. Valve. Yes, Valve, behind Steam, they announced that they are going to be releasing a new console. And not just a new console called the Steam Machine, but a frame VR headset and a new Steam controller. So I shouldn't say it's new. It is a returning thing. So it was a previous Steam Machine. So if you did not know, so this is more for Valve announcing the return of the Steam Machine PC console hybrid hardware. Yeah, but it's obviously a new version. It's a box where Xboxes are more rectangles than this is a true box. But so Valve has its own box. But it's intriguing. It's very intriguing. And again, we're going to have this new version of the Steam controller alongside of it, as well as the Frame VR headset. Valve confirmed that the next gen Steam Machine and Steam controller are going to be coming out, but they failed to announce one key piece of information, and that's the price. We don't know how much this stuff's going to cost. Most new consoles are around $500. The Steam Deck itself was a little bit more than that. And then we're talking about a controller, which will probably range somewhere in the 70 to 100, maybe more. And then we're talking about a VR headset. VR headsets can probably range between 3 to 500. So Valve is probably looking at people who want to get all three to invest about $1,000 into console controller and VR headset. Now, one thing they did announce as well is that this stuff will be sold separately. They are not beholden to one another. You can get the Steam controller and use it on your current gaming PC. You can be able to get the Steam machine and use PlayStation, Xbox, other controllers on it. You can get the VR headset and use it with your current PC rig. So you don't have to get all three. You don't have to plug and play together to have the experience. So don't think that Valve's asking you to put $1,000 or more, and the only way you can use this stuff is to get all three. That's not the case. But And that's a good thing because now, not everybody's going to have the juice for it. But me personally, I'm very intrigued because as much as I've wanted to build a new PC, have a new PC rig, I haven't had the time. I haven't had the time to build it. I haven't had the time to source the parts the way I want to. I'm debating over what graphics card. I'm debating over, do I want water cool or not? There's so many variables there. And the console eliminates that. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm a console guy. I've been a console kid my entire life. And if Valve simplifies it with a console that I can play my Steam library on, it just makes more sense to do it that way. Because honestly, having a gaming PC, it would just be for me. I'm just using it for gaming. I wouldn't use it much for what I do here, creativity wise, because I have my Mac for that, and I have everything in the Apple ecosystem for that. I've got Final Cut for editing, got GarageBand or Logic for the audio side. I've got everything within the Apple ecosystem. I don't need to start using PC for that stuff. So the only reason for me to have a gaming rig is to have Steam on it and game. But if I can spend $500-$600 for a console that's powerful, that has Steam on it, it just makes more sense than dropping $14, $15, $2,000 on a PC rig. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very intrigued to what Valve has announced here. But again, the tricky thing is, what is the price gonna be? And while obviously we are on the topic of gaming, let's talk about the 2025 Game Awards. Now, we're going to keep it 100, okay? Most people don't watch the Game Awards for the awards. Like, we don't have E3 anymore. So the Game Awards is really when we get a lot of big reveals on what games are coming out, what trailers drop. The awards are kind of secondary. And look, they know this because they have entire sections of the show where they're like, this category, such and such, and the winner is such and such. And they're just reading off the teleprompter. Like, they're not having everybody come up and get their award and give a speech for every category. They do it for a couple categories that are, more respected, have more panache to them than others. But a lot of the categories are read off the prompter, and people are like, hey, this is how they found out that they won an award. So we're not really tuning in for the awards as much as we're tuning in to find out what the new hotness is going to be. So in this review, this overview, recap of the 2025 Game Awards, I'm going to go over some notable winners, and then we're going to talk about some of the trailers and the reveals, because that's what we really come for. So starting with a award that I wanted to recognize, particularly because it's close to my heart, Best Ongoing Game. The winner was No Man's Sky. And I've been a No Man's Sky player for a few years. I'm not a day one player. I'm not, I wasn't one of those people that was upset. But I love what No Man's Sky is continuing to do and build. What's his name? Sean Murray? Yeah, one of those two. What he and the team continue to do by pushing free update after free update, continuing to expand and improve upon No Man's Sky, taking it from being a debacle into something I continue to enjoy playing year after year is a testament to hard work, determination, and delivering on promises even when you over-promised and under-delivered at first, but eventually getting it right. So kudos to Sean and the entire No Man's Sky team. Your win for best ongoing game, well deserved. We also had a best fighting game. Fatal Fury: City of the Wolves was the winner. Now, I'm only pointing this one out because it's honestly, it was the only one that could win. Because the rest of the games were all like sequels except for 2XKO, and technically that's still in beta. So the only true game that was like on its own, and like the other ones are like not just sequels, but like they're collections. Capcom Fighting Collection 2 was up there, Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, and then Virtual Fighter 5, it's a reboot of it. So like the only fresh game that's a game, that's not a collection, that's not a beta, was Fatal Fury. So like it was kind of a gimme. And that's what I mean by like, hey, sometimes these awards they don't carry the same weight. Shout out to Mario Kart World for winning Best Sports Racing. I had to mention this because my co-host Unique DNA has been really big on this game. Arc Raiders won for Best Multiplayer. One of my favorite games. I didn't buy it again. I thought I was going to buy it. I shouldn't say thought. I was tempted to buy it again, but I didn't because I've bought this game too many times. And I've talked about it on the show before. Best Sim Strategy was won by Final Fantasy Tactics: The Ivalice Chronicles. I love Final Fantasy. I love Final Fantasy Tactics. We've talked about that ad nauseum on the show. Congratulations to Square Enix for a win for a re-release. Hey, if you can win awards porting games, hey, all power to you. Shout out to Nintendo for another win for Donkey Kong Bonanza. It won the best family game, and that's important to me because I think gaming needs to always retain a family element. I think that's vital and important. So, Donkey Kong Bonanza won best family game. We had Best RPG, which was won by Claire Obscure Expedition 33. It had some stiff competition against Avowed, Kingdom Come, Deliverance 2, Monster Hunter Wilds, and The Outer Worlds 2. We had Best Action/Adventure, won by Hollow Knight Silk Song. We had, and that again also had some stiff competition, Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotei, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, as well as Split Fiction. Then we had Best Action Game. Now, this didn't make sense to me. You had Best Action Adventure and also Best Action Game. Whatever. Best Action Game was won by Hades 2. It won that over Doom, Dark Ages, Battlefield 6, Ninja Gaiden 4, and Shinobi Art of Vengeance. And that all leads to the Game of the Year, which was between some of these games we mentioned previously here that won awards. Donkey Kong Bonanza, Hades 2, Hollow Knight Silk Song, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and Death Stranding 2 on the beach. And then also Claire Obscure Expedition 33. With the winner being Claire Obscure Expedition 33. Claire Obscure, so I haven't played it yet. Unique DNA, my co-host, he's played it. He told me it's amazing. He's the one who put me onto it because I hadn't heard much about it. From what I've seen, the game looks amazing. Has a great story. It's emotional and it's an RPG. You know me, I love RPGs. So it's also turn-based. It's right up my alley. It's up my classic RPG, Final Fantasy, Legend of Zelda, Parasite Eve, Chrono Trigger, Xenosaga loving RPG self. Like it's right up my RPG alley. Uh, so I am looking forward to buying this game and playing this game. I'm very excited for it, and a little bit more excited after what Unique DNA put me on game about, and then what I saw from watching the game awards and the parts of the game. Because I haven't seen much about it. I haven't seen anybody stream it, so like I learned a lot about the game by watching it win various awards. Clear Obscure, or Expedition 33 as it's most commonly referred to, it walked away as the big winner, set a record in the Game Awards 12-year history by also winning Best Game Direction, Best Narrative, Best Art Direction, Best Score and Music, Best Performance by an actor, Best Independent Game, and Best Debut Indie Game. Like it was virtually the Claire Obscure Expedition 33 show. Big time domination. And again, record breaking showing by Sandfall Interactive, the developers, who they're an independent studio started by 4 people. I mean, when they started building this game, it was just 4 people. Obviously, they've got more people working for them now. They've grown, and they had more funding than the average indie dev team has, the average indie game has. But with the resources they had, they've clearly built an impressive masterpiece that I, for one, am extremely looking forward to getting my hands on and playing. But we're going to go from the awards portion to the reveals, because that is really what people come for. So when it comes to reveals, I picked a couple that stood out to me as trailers that piqued the interest. The first one piqued my interest, but also simultaneously, it pissed me off, it irritated me, but not by its fault. And that one is Star Wars Fate of the Old Republic. Now, why did it piss me off? The teaser trailer itself didn't piss me off. It looks great. And I'm a big fan of the KOTOR world universe. What pisses me off is that I've been waiting for the Knights of the Old Republic remake, and the project has gone nowhere. And it was only a couple years ago where we had a teaser trailer for the Knights of the Old Republic remake, and we had a very dope shot of Revan, and we've got zilch, nada since then. So that irritates me. And what it also does, it doesn't give me a lot of hope that this game will come out. Because you had fans like myself who have been itching for that remake to be made and come out. There was no shortage of Star Wars fans waiting for that game, especially because we've been saying for 20 years now that Knights of the Old Republic is probably the best Star Wars game, and when it comes to like the RPG style games, and it had the most enjoyable narrative. So to have that remade, kind of in the vein that Final Fantasy has with 7, you had a lot of Star Wars fans really excited for that, and for that to fizzle away doesn't give me a lot of hope for Fate of the Old Republic coming to fruition. Like, I'm sorry, but it doesn't fill the Star Wars fan in me with a whole lot of hope that this will actually come to pass. It looks like it might just be another tease from people in a team that promises one thing already and didn't deliver. So, first, a pleasant surprise turned into, I don't know about this. The next reveal that I did see it and that I did really, really like is the return of my man Leon Kennedy in Resident Evil Requiem. Yes, Leon Kennedy is back. We're going to have two playable characters in this Resident Evil, Leon and this young lady whose name I do not remember. Leon is going to be very action-based, as they described. The young lady is going to be more on the investigative clues and such, but it's Resident Evil. Yeah, people who know me know I'm not a big horror guy, but I love Resident Evil. I love it. It's like the one horror franchise that I've been in 10 toes down not day one, but since RE2, I've been 10 toes down in Resident Evil. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So this is a buy. This is a pre-order. This is happening. Resident Evil Requiem. Come on. No more needs to be said. Now, this next game I had not heard of, and the trailer really intrigued me. And it's something that I'm definitely going to strongly consider, and that is Exodus. I encourage you to watch this trailer. Exodus looks really freaking cool. It's just, it's a space story. I love space stuff. It looks like it's, from what I saw in the trailer, it looks like it's full of a lot of intrigue, and it will have a really a great story moving things forward. So that looks really, really fun. And I'm very excited to learn more and see more of what comes out of Exodus. Something I was kind of surprised by, I wasn't expecting to see, is a game, a Dungeons and Dragons game, Warlock, Dungeons and Dragons. Trailer looked just super, super dope. It's produced by Invoke Studios and obviously alongside Wizards of the Coast. So, it's an official Dungeons and Dragons licensed video game. And as, still a relatively new to D&D fan, I'm very intrigued by what we're going to get out of this game, Warlock. The trailer was super revealing, so I am going to be really following close to see what more comes out as development continues on this game. And then there is a little bit more here. So we have two games that I'll mention because they were talked about at the same time. And that is a classic series of Tomb Raider. We've got two Tomb Raider games that are going to be dropping. Tomb Raider Catalyst, which is a new title, and then Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis, which is essentially a reboot of a classic Tomb Raider adventure. So we're kind of revisiting some Tomb Raider. I'll admit I dropped off Tomb Raider for a while. I have one of the newer ones. I've never pressed play, despite being a pretty big Tomb Raider fan for years. But there was just something that wasn't bringing me back. Watching those trailers for Catalyst and Legacy of Atlantis had me feeling like it was 1997. And I was about to play Tomb Raider 2 again. Like I was, and not just like that's not just nostalgia, but like I was feeling ready to go on this adventure with Lara Croft. So I don't know if I'm going to cop both because I'm already talking about dropping money on Requiem, buying Expedition 33. So it's probably going to have to be one or the other. But no, the Tomb Raider games look really, really cool. Very, very cool. It's definitely going to be at least one of them. It's going to be on my list of games to buy. I'm gonna have to really increase my budget for gaming in 2026. Next trailer, which was surprising, this game is not doesn't appear to be ready anywhere near soon. But the trailer looked fun, very Yakuza like, and it is called Gang of Dragon by Nagoshi Studios. It happens to star Lee Dong-suk, who you may recognize for those watching from this picture, but you would recognize him as what was his character's name? Now I forget. He's the Asian man from the Eternals. I don't know why I can't remember his character's name, but he was the one that was making the pies and hanging out with Angelina Jolie in the Eternals. He is starring. I believe he's actually played the protagonist of this Japanese Yakuza gang style game. It looks very promising. From the little bit we saw in the trailer, it looks like the action's gonna be brutal, and you've got a recognized Hollywood actor that is reprising the role here. So very interesting. And the last reveal I have for this episode was a little surprising. I knew about this game coming out, but I did not know this person was going to be in it. So the James Bond 007 First Light, which people again have known about, revealed its villain in this Game Awards. And its villain is Lenny Kravitz. Yes, I said Lenny Kravitz is starring as Bomba, the villain in 007 First Light. And you know what? I ain't mad at it. I like Lenny Kravitz a lot. We've seen Lenny act, not leading man or, really as a antagonist, but we've seen Lenny act, notably in, Hunger Games. And then he's a charismatic dude. So I don't have any doubts that Lenny can perform, especially in a more controlled setting, like a video game. So Lenny Kravitz is going to be your Bond, is your latest Bond villain. 007 First Light was already on my list of games to buy. It may become the best Bond game. It may overtake GoldenEye as the best Bond game. There's so much potential in First Light. It's wild. And Lenny Kravitz adding his unique flair. And it looks like they've got a musical twist to the character because I saw a guitar in the background. This could be very, very intriguing to see what they do with Lenny Kravitz and this performance as Bomba in 007 First Light. For you, Jeeks, I hope you enjoyed watching the Game Awards this year. There was some other stuff that I want to talk about, but just really didn't have time to put on the show. The Mega Man announcement, for example, super cool. But I want to continue the conversation in social media, in the League of Jeeks, our Facebook group, and others. But this episode is going to wrap up. But let's continue talking about the 2025 Game Awards within our community. Please, let's keep this discourse going because there's still a lot of meat to talk about with what is coming out, and hopefully we don't have to wait too long for some of these things. But As I wrap up this episode, I want to thank everyone again for continuing to listen to the show. We could not do it without all you Jeeks who continue to support us. Please rate and review the show on your podcasting app of choice. We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Castbox, and our preferred podcast player, Good Pods. If you can't find us, let us know at jeeknation@gmail.com or message us on Facebook at Jeek Nation. And until next time, peace.
Ready to make an entrance, so backwards cut. Come on, cut for me.
Oh yeah.
Whoa, slow down. Whoa, speed up.
This is DJ What, and you're listening to the original Jeek Podcast.